Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Sue, your East Oakland advocate. Well, today, what I want to talk about is how to stimulate Oakland's economy. And that's been something that just hasn't happened for a really, really long time. Uh, in fact, the last time was where there was a really big project was 1972 when uh, they condemned a whole lot of homes in Oakland and created Highway 980. The Oakland Coliseum was 1965. And if you grew up here in the Bay Area like I did, you grew up during the BART construction, especially the underground construction through the downtown corridor, where all the streets were really massively a mess for years. So yeah, there have been projects that really helped Oakland, and it really moved Oakland forward. But since then, we've had a lot of leadership that wasn't much of any kind of leadership. And of recent, in the last 20 years, we definitely have not had any ideas on how to stimulate Oakland's economy and really turn it around. And I talk about the economy because it comes up a lot. It comes up as crime because criminals say that there's just no opportunities for them to get jobs or to get work that will actually pay the bills. And today we're really in that because the jobs that we're working aren't paying the bills, and we're having to. Many households are having to pay or work two jobs, some even three jobs to make ends meet. Uh, I have friends who are on Social Security that literally went back to work and work up to their limit of before they start losing benefits. And that's how bad the economy has gotten, and wages are really low. And so, what what we first have to do is assess the needs of all of the communities in the city of Oakland, cumulative, uh, so that we have an idea what everybody's needs are in all of the seven districts of Oakland. And the biggest solution on that affordable housing comes from all but a couple of districts. And we know which districts those are. Those are the ones with the rich people. But there are a lot, every other district is calling out for affordable housing and scream out about how unaffordable housing is right now. And how did we get there? And again, I bring up um, a proposition that was passed way back in 1995, and it benefited the new housing development industry, the new property managers, the REITs, all of those. That's where it benefited, and then it screwed you, the residents, because the measure was called Costa Hawkins, and what that did, it left in place protections for existing uh, real estate and properties, that could be protected. But under Costa Hawkins, with every new um, building that is constructed after moving forward from 1995 uh, is unregulated. And so that gave them, the greedy landlords, free reign to buy up the affordable buildings and housing, tear them down, and create new expensive housing, and that's what happened. And so uh, those were some of the causes of the downturn of Oakland, and then also uh, crime started coming up because there was a lack of work opportunities for a lot of people. And then in our schools. The bickering and the fighting that goes on in there creates, really bad feelings for the kids, and we see a lot of kids with a lack of hope uh, in when they get out of school. So when they get out of school, well, what am I going to do? Well, okay, now I got to go spend a whole lot of money on college and university education so that I can get a job that I can be underpaid, which is what's happening today. And for those that have mental challenges or physical challenges, those opportunities just aren't present at all. And so the thought of having stable home and home ownership uh, goes out the door. And so what we need to do is look at what we need to do to turn that around. And what we need to do, we need to look at city county resources, which are very limited. Then we go to state and federal government. Well, what are they doing? Well, state is helping out here in California. They've provided well over $1 billion towards the homeless crisis, and now they're starting to address affordable housing, but they have no ideas. They keep throwing money at the problem, but the problem is money isn't the problem. It's the greed and the corruption that goes on when you dangle that big pool of money out there, and they're the greedy are trying to figure out, well, how can I steal a good portion of that? And that's where a lot of things go awry. So I have created a solution along with a lot of people in this, and I'm a part of a HOG committee, homeless advocacy work group, and we discuss long-term permanent settlements here in Oakland, and I already have a solution for that, and I have a place for it to happen uh, for that particular solution. But we're going to talk about another solution. We're going to talk about the solution that I spoke about a couple episodes back, which was my floating community out in Oakland Middle Harbor, and how that begins. And we need a funding, foundational funding um, agency, and that is Alameda County Tax Assessor's Office. And so we have to uh, bring in and create a partnership, City of Oakland, a partnership with the city or with the county of Alameda County, the Board of Supervisors, and the, especially the taxing body of Alameda County. And I'll tell you why it's important. That's part of the EIFD, Enhanced Infrastructure Funding District. City of Oakland cannot collect taxes. The taxing body is Alameda County. So a partnership has to be formed, just like what was formed that created Mount Davis at the Oakland Coliseum. And EIFD was put in place to fund that project and a payback schedule. And so this has a payback schedule also. And we want to set the most important portion of the EIFD into play, because this is the portion that makes the most impact upfront and long term, 50 years into the future. And that's the life expectancy that we're going to put in place for the EIFD. And you say, well, why so long? It's because there's a lot of things that are going to be on the community benefits list, which will be paid for in full through funding from the EIFD, but it's going to come on an escalating list. And so the highest priority benefits for the city, and also those that help create those tax dollars, are at the top of the list. And then as we go down the list, as each one is accomplished and each one is paid for, they are fully paid off through the tax dollars that are collected. And you're saying, well, here's what Alameda County does. They take the area and we create a boundary. And within that boundary, that's the majority of the pool of community benefits. And that's where money will be concentrated for different community benefits and projects. So the top one is creating Oakland's Middle Harbor, the floating community. That way, number one, we have to set up all the dockage for all of these. It also helps create the entertainment zone that creates the attractive attraction to Oakland's Middle Harbor. It's not just the ships that are going to be the attraction, but it's the attraction within the attraction. And so this is the EIFD helps create those attractions and buildings, sets up those storefronts within those buildings. And so there's a side of the business, which is land-based, and then there's another side of the business, which is ship-based. So there's a lot of moving portions for this that help create the funding that supports and sustains the project for all 50 years and more future projects. And so as Oakland's Middle Harbor is completed, which should take about anywhere from 48 months out to maybe 72 months. But then the funding comes in and the tax dollars, because what Alameda County does, they designate the area, they freeze what is normally collected in tax dollars. And so Alameda County will always receive that baseline for that area. But anything above that, which is created through the sales and entertainment zone, the revenue that comes from there, the tax dollars that are generated through that, which over a 50-year period has been estimated to be $350 billion. And so that will go a long ways to doing a lot. And that's the goal, is to spend up to that limit, but not over that limit. But that limit gets paid off in increments as we move along. We don't spend all of that like we did with Mount Davis and then screw the residents. No, this way the residents are never on the hook for any project moving forward. Every one of the completed projects must be paid for in full before the next project in the queue is moved to the top priority and funded. So that's one of the safety factors. And then you say, well, there's a lot of money that can be corrupt. Well, yes, that is true. But we have redundant auditing. We have annual auditing. Alameda County does their audit, and then we have a third-party independent auditor. And there could be up to 5 different agencies all auditing Alameda County and that particular program. And they all got to match. That's the thing. If we compare them, and they won't know about each other. That's the important part. They won't know about each other, but all the necessary information, documents, and support documents will be provided equally across all the auditors. And all of the auditors should match at the annual meeting. And if they don't match, then there's a problem, and then that launches investigations. But the really good thing is that you don't have to put in any requests for information. This is all going to be published openly, and so that there's complete transparency with the EIFD, where the money is going, what has been spent, what is being spent on now. So you can actually see in real time what's happening and then compare it to Oakland. And that's the beauty about this. And it's not a closed system. This is the current system that we have here in Oakland is a system of unaccountability, no accountability whatsoever. In my administration, there will be 100% accountability for everything and every decision made. And those that aren't accountable will be dismissed. And you will be able to see that directly. And if I do something wrong, I expect to be dismissed also. So this is a very good um, program. It has a lot of safeguards to protect you, the residents, Oakland residents, from fraud, from embezzlement, and all sorts of bad things that we see, because we know that the city of Oakland is corrupt. And I'm going to work at straightening the city of Oakland out, but you can't take my word for it. You have to see proof. And this is one of the most transparent ways that you can see that my administration is being 100% honest with you. No other administration is going to do that. So my family right here in the city of Oakland, I know a lot about Oakland. We were one of the founding families for the city of Oakland. In fact, my great-grandfather, Lou Hing, is regarded as one of the founding fathers of the Oakland Chinatown. He was also the founder and business owner of Pacific Coast Cannery of West Oakland, the third largest cannery business on the West Coast. And Oakland's largest business in the early 1900s, where the cannery employed over 1,000 employees year-round. That was in competition with the likes of Del Monte, Libby Foods, and another company. And so we know how to be successful. My great-grandfather did a lot for the city of Oakland. He not only established one of the most profitable businesses and put Oakland on the map, but he also knew how to build community. And building community is something that I've done. And a lot of folks are saying, well, you've never held an elected position. Actually, I haven't held elected positions. My first elected position was when I was 28 years old. I was elected HOA president of one of the most prestigious homeowner associations in Alameda. And I remained the president for almost 2 years. And then when I moved out of the Townhome Association into a different one, that's when I had to step down, and I didn't go back into being a HOA president for the new HOA, but I learned a lot, and I learned my mentor while I was in Baywood Village. That was the name of the Townhome Association. I learned everything about HOAs and leadership in HOAs through the former HOA president, Chuck McNeil. Chuck was my mentor for nearly 19, almost 20 months before he passed away. And so I learned a lot, and it reflected a lot in my leadership in guiding the Baywood Village community, and also Baywood out in Harbor Bay. But also I have experience through my work, my career in counterterrorism. Well, what's that about? Well, there were times that we went in after a devastating event and had to rescue the communities in trauma. And so one of the first things that we did on some of the overseas, we brought in the cruise ships, got people out of the disaster zone. We were able to maintain their health, attend to their medical needs, feed them while rescue and restoration efforts were ongoing. But this gave them a safe place to be housed and to recover. So this is not a new plan, my Oakland Middle Harbor project. It is a restoration project that I've used in the past in overseas events. Um, but getting back to Pacific Coast Cannery, we were, like I said, the third largest cannery on the entire West Coast. Uh, we we helped the Chinese that are immigrating into America to assimilate into American life and American culture through the family associations. My great grandfather was established one of the largest ones, and it still runs today. It's my cousin Bruce Kwan Jr. holds the keys to the building and the office of the Four Families Association. And so we plan to, we know something about restoration of community and how to create financial packages and benefit the community. And we do this not for our own profit, because literally I'm not looking to make a dime, but I do love my city of Oakland and the residents of Oakland who have been here, like myself, and we're generational. Uh, so the benefits package has a lot of safeguards. It's $350 billion across the 50-year lifespan that this addresses. We could have used a shorter one, a 30-year, but then there are issues, and then there's room for expansion, because in that 50 years, I've only covered 10, 12, 15 years of benefits, and so there's plenty of room for more. One of those benefits that, because a lot of you are saying, well, if you were sealed and you cap the tax benefits that a certain area is going to have through Alameda County, well, they're going to get screwed over the long term. No, I've included them in the benefits package, just that their benefit may just move a little further down the road. And the main benefit for all of Oakland that benefits even districts that aren't included in the EIFD, but is a part of this package. That's the complete restoration of all Oakland streets from the hills to the flatlands. And that's a $35 billion project. And so that is slated on there, and that can start in increments after three main projects are completed. Then the street recovery program begins, and all of Oakland streets will be replaced. The only ones still in question are the main through roads, which is, as we know, International Boulevard. That is a state highway, actually. And so if we were to do that, we have to get permission from the state of California, Caltrans, in order to restore, repave that street, that corridor. Otherwise, Caltrans could give authorization and also provide some funding and some personnel to do that particular work. And so these are all partnerships. We're not working against any particular agency. We're working for the benefit of the community. And so let's see, what else do we have here? Here's the most important thing that everybody needs to know. The housing program, the cruise ship program, and also the land-based program, which is the Highway 980 Community Land Trust homes, the 2,500, 100% affordable land-based homes. Those operate under an entirely different situation. The city of Oakland becomes what did I call that now? We become a city in the business of people. So we're in the business of people. So we're not hiding things. We're not trying. So everything is in the open, just like home ownership. All of those cabins, you'll be able to go down to the Alameda County Recorder's Office and see who owns what unit, just like with any home here in Alameda County. So it's the same thing. It's only documenting ownership, uh, and you actually own it. You get a title of ownership, and it is your property. But here's the thing about the program. This is not a program for profit in any way, shape, or form. It is a nonprofit program, and I say that in the sense that when you go to sell your unit or your share of your of the vessel, you're not going to make a profit. Essentially, all you do, you collect all of the expenses of attaining the property, the cost of the property. There's no insurance cost that because the ship is self-insured, so there it was included in your HOA, and there's the folks in the housing. You're not going to make any profit. You're just going to really realistically see your money back, and that's what makes it easy and nice to transfer to your heirs in the future, because it is transferable. Also, on each one of those units, you will be paying a property tax, an ownership tax of $100 annually, and that goes to Alameda County Tax Assessor's Office, and that just is normal. That and actually it's very low, and we may amend that to the same tax table as any single family home or condo that is taxed in Alameda County, which is 1.15%. Assessments don't apply to those living on board, so you'll be exempt from a lot of those assessments, because ships are detached from land, and so you cannot put land assessments on something that is not attached to the land. And that keeps the taxes lower for those of you who are owners and are financially challenged. Even with this, you can be financially challenged still. But every one of the units are owner occupied. Owner occupied, meaning that you aren't. There's no possible way you can be a landlord or in any way on this, because there's no subleasing with this type of ownership. There are ongoing expenses, HOA fees, which cover the management of everything on the entire vessel. Also helps to pay for the staffing, which is the maritime security, the fire officers throughout the ship, medical personnel are also part of that, and maintenance. So there's a lot to it, but we're looking at an HOA of about $200, and since the primary goal is to have you housed, but not have you with a housing cost that is ongoing, and so you've been relieved of the housing expense, so to speak, but you still have the HOA, which are the support systems that are necessary: your garbage, your water, your electricity, Wi-Fi, things like that. And again, this helps to keep the atmosphere, the environment of this ship fresh and clean. And every 2 years, every 24 months, a new look is one of the goals for the management of that ship. And so it constantly creates an attraction that draws people to that ship. and there's going to be a board of directors, which are going to be all owners of that vessel. And so we have a board of 11, and they oversee the operations and the needs of the community. And those are voted on by the residents of the ship, just like how I was elected community president for the HOA. The community of voting went out, and the vote came back, elected me. I had the least amount of experience, but people had faith in me because Chuck McNeil stepped up for me and said that I was one of the best candidates that he's going to continue working with to make sure that there are few disruptions with what goes on in the community. And so, again, like I said, with my business, I operated 3 different communities, 1 overseas and 2 here stateside for my operation. And that entailed at times 800 to 1,000 personnel. And so that's a lot of community if you think about it. And I can't think of anybody who's going to run for the city of Oakland that has that kind of experience and knowledge about how to build a community, how to create an economy, and how to balance that economy and to float a government. I've done all of that. I'm your best choice to turn Oakland around. Thanks for joining me. We'll be right back.